Looking for a spacious, compact hatchback which will not drain your pockets? Perhaps the third generation Renault Megane is the answer to your problems. Or is it? How much do you think is this car?
Renault Megane is on the market since 1995. The current third generation is 5 years old now, and it had 2 facelifts. The second one was in 2014. One of the changes was introduction of a more powerful version of the 1.2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, which now makes up to 130 horsepower. In the 405-liter boot, there is no cargo arrangement system. There are no hooks for your shopping or a double floor. In order to fold the backrest flat, you first need to raise the seats, and that requires you to push the front seats forward. Too much hassle and too little space in the back. When the driver's seat is set to my driving position, I'm 175 centimeters by the way, there is just enough legroom, but headroom is lacking, partially due to the panoramic roof. The rear blind still works, but in the front, it's already getting stuck. In the front, not much has changed on the dashboard. There is a single cup, or rather a can holder, because it can't hold anything taller. Behind it are USB and SD ports, along with a 3.5mm jack socket, so either you drink or listen to tunes. Sat-nav has a touchscreen, and that's good, because buttons are small and very low, and I don't like the way the joystick works. There is also a very 90s digital speedo and equally 90s speakers. And what's with the bling on the gear lever?
As I mentioned before, this car is powered by a 1.2-liter 4-cylinder 130 horsepower engine. Renault promises the Megane with this engine will do 5.5 liters per 100 kilometers in the combined cycle, and well, I'm really struggling to keep it below 9 liters per 100 kilometers. This car is equipped with a 6-speed automatic gearbox. It's a dual clutch, and to tell you the truth, if Renault didn't put this in the brochure, well, I'd never believe it's a double clutch. I mean, it's fine in mid-range, mid-revs. When I have to accelerate, then everything works smoothly. However, if I need to downshift when I'm driving slowly, for example in city traffic, now this is where problems start. I mean, this gearbox gets all lost, and a simple maneuver like changing lanes, it's becoming rather difficult and rather dangerous, because all of a sudden I'm actually in someone's way. Okay, right now I'm driving 70, 80 kilometers per hour. I need to downshift, so I step on the accelerator, and a second or 2 seconds later the car starts accelerating, making a lot of noise. This engine doesn't sound like it's turbocharged, by the way. Now, let's get one thing straight. I don't expect this car to be particularly fast, and I don't expect this car to be, good for racing. If you want something for racing, take Megane RS. Speaking of the Megane RS, it's one of the best compact hot hatches I've ever driven. The Megane RS, of course, not the Megane Bose. The Megane Bose, well, it's lifeless, the steering is vague, the suspension is hard but not springy. It's just noisy when going over bumps and uncomfortable. This car will take you from A to B, but don't make any detours in the wild. By the way, I don't need a detour to sink a Megane RS. A couple of years ago, after a summer rainstorm, I had to, drive through a lot of standing water. It was on the road, and unfortunately the air intake was so low that it sucked in water, and, you can imagine what happened to the engine. Fortunately, in this car, the air intake should be slightly higher. But even this Megane doesn't like the rain. Now, there is a sunroof, a panoramic sunroof in this car, and there are these kind of grooves, gutters alongside, and they're pretty deep. And I noticed there is a lot of water standing in them. So, first of all, when I'm going through sharp turns, sharp bends, after it rained, there is water just gushing here on the side windows. But that's okay, so the water is falling out. Unfortunately, it's probably not all water, so I wonder what happens to the water that stays up there. I don't think it's going to work out well for the car. The sound insulation is poor, as you might hear every time a car passes me by, and at higher speed it gets even worse. And then there is the air conditioning. In auto mode it's becoming quite loud. In fast mode, predictably, it's becoming even louder. I can put it in soft, but even in soft I can hear it working, and heard that. And you know, it's working a bit too loud for my liking, and I've got the temperature down, so it shouldn't be very loud.
Prices of the third generation Renault Megane start at around 16,000 euros, but the Bose edition with extra equipment will take you to around 23,000 euros. Do you think it's worth it? Subscribe to my channel, new reviews every Friday. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Google+. You'll find all the links in the description below. And now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.